Welcome to Forbest Academy. If you're watching this video, then you're probably preparing for the SSAT test. In this video, I'll walk you through the verbal section of the test as well as its key components. The SSAT, or Secondary School Admissions Test, has 3 different levels: low, middle, and upper. Of these, the middle and upper levels are the most popular tests. SSAT consists of the quantitative section, which is not the focus of this video, and the verbal section, which will be discussed at length. Each test starts with a writing section for which you're given 25 minutes. The writing section is not graded, yet it is an important part of your overall evaluation. Following this section, you will be given a 5-minute break. After this, you're given 25 questions that check your quantitative skills. You're expected to answer these questions in 30 minutes. Immediately after this, 40 questions that assess your reading comprehension skills are administered, for which you'll receive 40 minutes. Having completed these 2 parts, you can expect a 10-minute break before the next portion of the test. In the last part of the test, you're given a total of 60 questions that test your verbal skills, 25 questions that check your quantitative skills, and an experimental section with 16 questions. The amount of time allotted to these sections will be 30 minutes, and 15 minutes respectively, making the test duration a total of 3 hours and 5 minutes. Now, let's delve into the verbal section and its key components. The SSAT test begins with the essay section, which provides us with 2 options. We can write about an issue or a personal opinion, or we can write a narrative. The narrative essay is the new creative writing option, which sounds easier in many ways, but it is completely up to us which topic to choose. Here's a writing sample. The test asks us to read the 2 prompts and choose one that we find more interesting. Prompt 1, which is an issue task, requires us to write about a job we love most, while the second prompt invites us to write a narrative essay. Now let's turn to the second section of the test. In the reading comprehension section, a total of 40 questions are drawn from 6 to 8 reading passages. The passage types are varied, and they include narrative texts such as excerpts from novels and short stories, texts from humanities, passages from social studies, and science texts, as well as arguments and opinion pieces or even narratives. Noticing the time limit and the number of reading passages and questions, students have approximately 1 minute to answer each question. Let's examine the types of questions that appear in this section. Number 1, main idea questions. This question asks us to find the main point or the gist of the passage. Main idea questions are typically phrased in one of the following ways. The passage deals mainly with. The main idea of the selection may be expressed as. The title that best expresses the ideas of this passage is. The writer's main purpose is apparently. The best name for this story is. The best title for this passage is. Number 2, supporting idea questions. Supporting idea questions ask us to find factual information in the reading passage. These questions are pretty straightforward and are usually phrased in the following ways. What is the setting of this reading passage? When did the action described in the passage take place? Why did X do Y? Which of the following statements is true based on the passage? Which of the following questions is answered based on the passage? What did the protagonist of this story not do? Number 3, inference questions. This question type asks us to draw conclusions from facts given in the passage. Therefore, we have to detect a hidden meaning in the passage, which could be rather tricky. Inference questions are typically phrased in the following ways. Why do you think that? What is most likely? The author implies that. It can be inferred from the passage that, comparing the two paragraphs in this reading section, we can say that. Number 4. Word and context questions. This question type encourages us to guess at the definitions of words based on context clues in the surrounding words. The intended words are brought to your attention in several ways. For instance, they are bolded, underlined, or italicized. Word and context questions are typically phrased in the following way. The term X can be defined as. Number 5. Tone questions. It is important to identify the mood the writer is trying to evoke. We need to pay attention to punctuation, descriptors, context clues such as repetition and choice of words to successfully identify the mood of the writer, which may vary from sarcastic and enraged to joyous and excited. You can find a comprehensive list of adjectives that are commonly used for describing various tones on our website by simply clicking on the link provided below. Tone questions are typically phrased in the following way. Which of the following best describes the writer's tone in this passage? Number 6. Organization questions. SSAT evaluates our understanding of writing techniques by asking us questions about how reading passages are organized. For instance, the way main ideas are introduced, and how and where rhetorical questions, examples, statistics, supporting ideas, and summation sentences are used. Moreover, we need to know sentence types, namely exclamatory sentences, interrogative sentences, and statements. Organization and logic questions are typically phrased in the following ways. Which of the following best describes the organization of the passage? Which of the following best describes the outline used in writing this passage? Which of the following best describes the opening sentence of this piece? The SSAT's verbal section also tests us on synonyms and analogies, each receiving an equal number of questions. In the synonyms section, we're given a word in capital letters, and we are asked to find a word or a phrase with the closest meaning. Let's have a look at the following example. Which word is closest in meaning to credulous? A. Gullible. B. Jovial. C. Flamboyant. D. Venerated. E. Exuberant. To answer this question, we need to be familiar with the basic root words and suffixes. The root word creed means belief, and the suffix ous gives us an adjective. Therefore, credulous has to do with believing things. Credulous means naive or too eager to believe things, often without giving them much thought. Thus, the correct answer would be A. Gullible. Unfortunately, schools do not teach the words that the SSAT loves. The good news is I and my colleagues at Forbest Academy have written a book that gives you the edge and makes it easy for you to ace the SSAT test. Now let's turn to the analogy questions, which are equally challenging as they require us to use our critical thinking skills and analyze the relationship between words from different perspectives. An analogy is defined as a comparison between two things, typically for the purpose of explanation or clarification. A typical analogy question is phrased in the following way. X is to Y as Z is to. In the following question, we are required to identify an analogy of associated location. Rock is to quarry as A. Rust is to iron, B. Coal is to mine, C. Pan is to gold, D. Metal is to alloy, E. Water is to ice. Rock is extracted from a quarry, a deep place from which materials are extracted. Similarly, coal is extracted from a mine. Therefore, the right answer would be B. Thank you for watching this video, and please remember to subscribe to our channel and visit our website for more materials on the SSAT test.